Okay, I am here. And I will not have kids jumping into the live because the kids are in the childcare. So, who is here? It is 6:30 Central Standard Time. I am at the gym. I just finished up a hard workout. My goodness. I gave myself a few minutes to catch my breath. Hey! Hey, Adrian. Hello. Okay, so there are some people in here. Go ahead and jump in the chat and let me know if, my goodness, let me know if you guys have any questions. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, sorry. Today's conversation will be a whole lot more productive. Am I submissive? I am not submissive today. Maybe tomorrow. Or am I busy tomorrow as well? I'm probably not going to be I'm probably not going to be submissive tomorrow either. Okay. So I am a book nerd, and I was doing my book club meetings on Tuesdays, and my next book club, when I finally launch it, um, I'm planning on doing I'm planning on doing Patricia Hill Collins' Black Feminist Thought. Black Feminist Theory is one of those. So I was, I don't know what we were going to talk about today, but I have been talking about this book of Boys and Men, and I brought it just in case anybody wanted to nerd out and talk about this book. It is very interesting. Neurodivergent Dragon said, have I seen the video of a man who kicked his date out of the car because she didn't want to have sex with him? No. I have not seen that. Is it a real thing or was it a skit? Sometimes I see some of these videos and I'm not actually sure if they are real life or if somebody is just putting something on to go viral. But no, I haven't seen it. And honestly, I will say that, some of these dudes seriously do see going on dates as tricking. They are very transactional with dating. They do not use dating as a get to know you period. And I can honestly say, I can honestly understand why women are opting out. If I were single, there would be so many things on the to-do list outside of dating straight men. I don't know. I couldn't see myself in the dating game currently. And it's not even just that courtship is a foreign concept, it's that these people don't seem to want an actual connection with people, with us. They only see us as a means to a nut, a means to an orgasm, a human sex bot. That's it. They see us as, something to do, and then a service robot, cooking and cleaning. That's the reason why they cannot see our humanity, like our, creativity, our intelligence, our support, our anything else outside of it. Does she have a womb? Is it able to carry a baby? Um, can she cook? Can she clean? They can't see our humanity outside of that. And that goes into this book that I'm reading of Boys and Men. I have been waiting. I use the library. I read so many books. If I were to actually buy all of those books that I talk about, I would be out of a lot of money. Last year, I read 73 books in 2022. I read 78 books in 2021. And I just like to read. So this year I'm not reading as much because I'm actually writing a book as well, and hopefully you guys support that as well. But I can't read as much. I've only read 12 books this year. Maybe it's 11. But as you can see, I'm still bringing those to you. QB, I have been locked So this is my second set of locks, and these locks could be longer, but I kept cutting on my hair for a time. Um, I've been locked overall for about 20 years. This set of locks is 10 years old. It's not as long as it could be because, like I said, I was cutting it off. I would have liked to just chop my hair off, but my children would probably freak out if I just cut my hair off. Um, my kids, yeah, my son was very attached to my hair. When I get grown enough to actually, and somebody asked me if I was submissive. Yeah, I guess I am kind of submissive because my kids do be running things. So my kids are running things. I can't cut my hair because they would freak out. Um, so these, okay, your locks are very pretty. Love them. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do maintain my own hair as far as keeping it tightened. Back when I was in college, someone taught me how to lock stitch my own hair so I can tighten it myself. I cannot style my hair. So I do have somebody that styles my hair, but I can make myself look presentable. And I know that I have saved myself thousands of dollars because I have done my own hair for the better part of 20 years. Oh my goodness. So, like I was saying, I just got through working out. I'm at the gym right now. So when you hear groups of people walking by, they're probably being let out of a class. So I'm just putting that out there in the atmosphere. But I am excited to be able to come and go live with y'all. I'm excited to be able to come live with y'all right now because childcare here is amazing. But if you guys want to do the book club, I'll probably be starting. I don't know. I'm probably going to start that up soon. I promised the other ladies that were in my last book club that I would do this next book, but maybe I'm going to do it in the fall. Hi. Oh, that's my girl. Hey, Kai. I didn't know you were on here. I'm probably, if I'm going to send out an email to the book club people, I might want to do the book club starting in fall because there is just too much going on this summer. And we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. And maybe we can just talk on Tuesdays, have a Tuesday chat without being on the book club. Hi, everybody. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. But I do want to talk a little bit about this book of Boys and Men. Somebody asked me the question, why am I reading this book? I read a lot, and I read tons of books as far as, hold on, there is a crying baby coming through. Let me, one moment. This is your chance to type a question. When I grab a hold of a topic, I tend to read like 5 different books on it. Like last year, I started reading books on Black Britain, and it led me to read a couple of books on colonies of Britain. It had me reading some history of Britain. When I grab a hold of a topic, I read it up and down and sideways, and I don't always just read because I agree with an author's stance. Sometimes I read just so I can know the stance of somebody else. And Richard Reeves has been doing these interviews, and for the longest time, I was just kind of giving him the side eye, like this sounds like a bunch of hooey. And as I'm reading, I can tell that what is missing from the discourse of these conversations and these leaders that are talking about the birth rate decline, and these leaders are talking about the birth rate decline. They're wringing their hands about the crisis of men, but you can tell that they do not talk to women, because if they just talk to a woman with half some sense, they could get a better hold on the issues that are going on. And Femme Fatale, it was Oh, hey, Femme Fatale. I don't know if you just heard, but I was just reading last year about Black Britons, and it is very, very interesting the history of Black British people and how y'all got over there. Just a different stop from the slave ship. On the way to dropping folks off to the Americas. Um, Wait for Jamaica to leave the Commonwealth once and for all. And Marsha, I don't know too much about what is going on with Jamaica. I do know that that was definitely a part of the whole slave trade with the British and stuff. But what is missing from so much American history? Hey, kitty cats, what is missing from so much American history is just an in-depth viewpoint, because all of this stuff that I know, that I type about and that I go live about, I learned this just because I've been reading through the pandemic. And there's so much history that is so whitewashed that I can just keep grabbing a book and like literally like that's how it really is. So and what I am seeing with the discourse as far as social media, you meet so many people from different ethnicities, nationalities, cultures, and how people perceive or interpret history will give a different slant. Like, we could see the exact same event happen, and one person will see who is the villain completely different as somebody else who sees the hero of the story. That is the reason why I read so many different angles from books. Over the last couple of years, most of my authors have been women authors, mostly black women, but I have been reading other ethnicities. And I do that because our viewpoints are so different than men. And throughout history in this United States, most of the media and curriculum has been ran and interpreted through the eyes and the mouthpiece of white males. So we're only getting that stance. So when you read from the stance of a black woman or, some other ethnicity, you'll see somebody else that might see the victor or the victim completely different. Bluesville Splash. I was just I wasn't saying anything specific about Jamaica. Somebody on here is from Jamaica, and I just mentioned it because they mentioned it. So it looks like we got a lot of different cultures and countries in here. Go ahead and tell me where you're from. I am 42 years old, born and raised in Oklahoma. I am a country girl. I moved out of Oklahoma in 1999 as soon as I graduated high school. So I moved away and moved straight into college. And because of that, I moved to Ohio. I've moved to California. I've lived in Illinois. I have varieties of states that I have been in. But I tell you this, I will never live in a red state again, not with the way we're playing out a dystopian novel in real life with the way these politics are going. So we got Jamaica, we got the UK up in here, we got South Carolina up in here, we got South Florida. Okay, so QB, you're out there in South Florida. We got Canada. Okay, tell me a little. We got Maryland. We got a bunch of different people. This is amazing. The way we're able to connect socially and actually bounce ideas off of each other, because I admit that I do have blind spots, because we have our own blind spots, because what we know is filtered through our own eyes and experiences. And that is the reason why I that's the reason why I read so many different books. Last year I read this book called The New Daughters of Africa. And in this book, The New Daughters of Africa, this book was like this big. It was real big. It was taking the narrative of different women starting in the 1800s and doing narratives and essays from women throughout the 1890s, the early 1900s, the 1910s, and all of these women were of African descent. They're not all from America. They were from various countries in Africa. They were from, the diaspora. They were from formerly colonized countries. You know what? I might have to move. They were from former colonized places, so you got a chance to experience life through their eyes, and it's definitely very interesting. And then what ended up happening, I was like, what is going on with all of these? It would be like a a person who had parents from Ghana and London, and I'm like, how is this happening? How are all of these Africans and people from the UK marrying and creating these kids, or what is going on? Because I didn't know the history of the slave trade and where Britain fit in, and how where they drop people off and everything. So then I started out like a detective, going through and trying to read up on the various colonies. I'm about to move areas. Okay, I'm gonna take y'all. Okay. Maybe I don't need to move. Okay, I was about to move, but it looks like I don't need to move. I'm gonna sit back down. Okay, there we go. I was about to move, but I am in the gym, so it's not like it's okay. Here we go. Now let me see. I cannot tell a Karen to shut up. You stop that. Since I'm getting a divorce next month, okay, I'll research it. Let's see what's going on. In the chat, because I certainly was just doing a bunch of talking. So guys, I have my homie Kai, who wrote a book, Date Like a Woman. She did she wrote a book, like I said, it's called Date Like a Woman. I do need to get into her book a little bit more. I have about 5 or 6 books that I am currently trying to get through. And that is my issue. I start reading a book, I go to take it back, and then I end up grabbing 2 more books, and I just cannot get through all of these books. I am literally consistently reading, but I'm going to try to get to her books and at least pull out some passages and talk about it. You know what? I will be y'all's petty friend. I am here. You see, I go on, and this is literally me. When y'all see me talking on my videos, that is literally me. I know that I weave in my slanguage and all of that stuff. That's me. So I'm y'all's petty virtual friend. Where can I get the book? Date Like a Woman book. Kai, go ahead and put your information. Maybe next Tuesday. I don't know, Kai, if you can go live, if you have the capacity to go live yet. But if y'all could go on Date Like a Woman book, she's in the chat, and follow her. And I'm going to see if I can help her get her subscribers up. Y'all go ahead and follow her. And she can drop a link in the chat. She can drop a link in the chat and tell y'all where to find her book. Y'all know that I'm good for promoting women and promoting Black women specifically, because that's just how I am. I know that pushing people, I should get a fee for it, but I'm not big time yet. But come see me next year. I'm probably going to have a good chunk of people, and my head is probably going to be a lot bigger than it is. Bree, did you get your book? I'm glad that you got your book. Yay. Bree 087-ish got her giveaway book. Cool. I sent out a couple of the corporate baddie journals that I was supposed to send out. And if anybody is in the chat or just seeing this live once it posts, if you were supposed to get a book from me, I still have a couple of more books to give out, and Kai still has some books. Okay, Kai still has a couple of books that she will be sending off as well. Cause yeah. Um, so just Ava, didn't KS also say the same? Okay, so let's see what is going on in the chat. So you guys have me for a solid probably about 20 more minutes. So if you have any questions for me, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm looking through the messages and it does not seem like I have missed very many questions. I am, David's Bridal is closing, and that is very interesting to me. You know, we are about to enter into June, and we all know that June is Pride Month. And I am very, very thankful that I have hit almost 10 years married, and I have still not been impacted by gay folks getting married. But it just seems like these straight folks keep getting divorced. And I don't know if maybe the straight folks need I don't know if the straight folks need a straight Pride Month or what, but the straights are, you know, they having a time, and I don't know what to do about it. And you know, June is about to, all of the straights in the chat, I hope that you guys are going to be strong. I am going to be strong during Pride Month, but each June it is a struggle to remain straight, because they come in, they start having their little parties or whatnot. And you know, now David's Bridal is going under, and the straights just need to get some, you know, the straights just need to get it together. And I don't know if David's Bridal just needs to start catering to the gays. I don't know, but okay, I'm being silly. But what David's Bridal says to me is that maybe the pomp and circumstance of weddings has gone down, and these men's just are not. The women are just like, I'm good. I'm good. The women are just like, I'm good, and the men just refuse to see it. I was supposed to do a video on David's Bridal. Someone sent me an article, but I forgot, or I just kind of get sidetracked. Y'all know that I do try to put out five solid videos a day, but I am a homeschooling mom and a wife and all that kind of good stuff. So so let's see. Weddings are overrated. They're expensive. Who has the money for it? Eggs cost too much money. Y'all, I messed up 4 eggs this morning trying to boil some eggs. You know, I got a job now as a content creator, but I do not have that much money to be wasting 4 eggs thinking that I am trying to hard boil some eggs and mess up. But weddings are way too expensive. I'm sitting up here hurt about the 4 eggs that I had to throw out. And you know, everything is just way too expensive, and I cannot see putting so much money into getting married. Now I will hit 10 years this year, so I do want to do something. But you know, I got a basic black ring, and you know, we just kind of do basic stuff now. This gym is kind of a splurge, but but I can understand why expensive ass weddings are down, because who can afford to be living like that? um yeah, y'all better not be letting food go to waste. So you don't really want to harass you. But the myth of providing and protecting. Okay, so we can chit chat about providing and protecting. Let's see. I'm gonna get to that. Let me check and see what else is going on. Providing and protecting. Miss Q, I have not read Cinderella is Dead. I've seen that pop up a couple of times. I am let me go ahead while I'm in this chat. because I have another phone. I'll see if my local library has Cinderella is Dead while I'm thinking about it. I do see things and then I get sidetracked, and then I forget to do stuff. But the idea of protecting and providing, so the whole thing about men and women's in these boxes is a fabrication. There is a book that I just got through reading. My last book that I did with the book club is called it was called The Way We Never Were. It was talking about the nostalgia trap that we fall into. And the nostalgia trap happens because we look at the nuclear family, but the nuclear family was crafted and created and legislated. And basically, women were second class citizens. There is something called a coverture law. The coverture law basically said that women and girls were owned by a man. At first, we were owned by our fathers, and then once we were basically property of our husbands. And these men had to provide for their property, just like they had to provide for a cow, or they had to provide food for their sheep or whatever. So the idea of protecting and providing, they had to, because we were property. And then the nuclear family got legislated. And how was it legislated? There were, after the New Deal, like there were things set in place, like how you received a pension. Men could receive a pension, but women, back before women could receive their own pension and women could actually work, you had to be a married woman to receive a man's pension. So you had to be attached to somebody. They made it so that like women looking to get benefits and money after their husband or father died, you had to be legally married to somebody to qualify for certain benefits. So they legislated marriage, and women couldn't own property. Even if your dad owned property, women couldn't just get that property. So it literally, for survival's sake, women had to be provided for. And men literally could leave their families. And you were SOL. You were SOL if your husband left. And so then they had to start creating laws, and they had to create laws to make husbands pay for their wives. And they did this because women, we couldn't work. We couldn't work. Black women could work. Black women could work because, the history. But black women, it's not like we were making very much money, obviously, because after slavery, we got the sucky jobs and they paid us pennies on the dollar. And it was basically like a second slavery. But even if we did get a job, then, once feminism happened and our money became our money, then everything was cool. But if you were a white woman, then these dudes could leave. So they had to legislate. This is where the legislation for alimony and child support happened, because these dudes were just up and leaving their wives, and I don't want to deal with this wife and this kid anymore. I'm just going to leave. And then they left for a 25-year-old secretary. So they had to create legislation for alimony and child support. No, women were definitely oppressed. Women, we were second-class citizens. And so when women were second-class citizens, and then when you add on to that race part of it, then it just keeps tumbling down. And then if you were poor, it brings you down even further. And so that is the reason why, and I know that this topic that I'm about to broach will get people going. But when they start talking about this whole femininity thing, only a few people could be dainty and have tea and have their dresses pressed and all that kind of stuff. There were some of us that were actually working and had to work hard. Now, the other contingent of people, the alabaster people, could rest in their femininity because other people had to wash their laundry by hand without a washing machine. Other people had to gather up their kids and handle the kids, and gather the chicken to be chopped up, and gather the eggs. So there was a certain contingent of people, that women, that could rest in their femininity, but by the same token, they were still kind of in a gilded cage. Now, the thing that stops the alabaster women from getting as free as the black women are getting free is because they still benefit from some of the race situation, and the anti-black woman sentiment is still weaved into history, into the discourse of society, and they don't want to let that slight advantage go. And so it makes it challenging to break free of that second class citizenship for them. But that's neither here nor there. I'm supposed to be looking up Cinderella is Dead. Hold on real quick. Let me do that right now. Cinderella is dead. I'm going to do that right now while y'all are on this live. And see, Cinderella is Dead, if they have it. And another one. I'm going to try to get it. All right, let's see. What else are we? What? It looks like the chat is popping. It's popping, popping, popping. What are we talking about? The rainbow turned me gay. The rainbow almost got me. The rainbow almost got me. But I just put on a super straight shield, and I was able to remain straight. It was crazy. Just Ava says, I'm 21 years old. You're a married woman, and I was wondering this. How do people even afford to pay for weddings? I don't know. I got married at the courthouse. I literally me and my husband went down and got married at the courthouse. We had found out that, I mean, it was just a lot easier. We started looking for venues, and this was 10 years ago, before the economy tanked completely. And it was just like the thousands of dollars for the venue, and then all this money for the plates of food. And I was just like, no. Okay. I do need to go to Costco and get me some eggs, because yes, losing 4 eggs is just heartbreaking. Oh, I was still supposed to talk about protecting and providing. Okay, so I was talking about the legislation. They literally legislated nuclear family, and they made everybody else conform. So this is another thing. When people talk about tradition and the traditional family, what tradition? Whose tradition? We always, I think that when people start talking about the traditional family, they are reminiscing about the 1950s. But as a black person, what were you doing in the 1950s? Like, if you put on your thinking cap, what was your traditional family like in the 1950s? It was probably mom and grandma, maybe an auntie and a cousin. Maybe grandpa was still alive. I don't know. Daddy could have been around or not, but everybody was working. And there were multiple people in your household, because you had to do that, because black people were getting paid pennies on the dollar. And we couldn't live like the all in the family. I mean, I don't know if the Leave It to Beaver type of family. We just couldn't. Our nuclear family, our 1950 family, we never had that traditional family. Now, I do at this particular point in time. But, you know, when we look back, what traditional families did the black people have for everybody to steadily be on that? So the whole protecting and providing stuff was all manufactured anyway, because only a certain amount of people could actually do the whole protecting and providing, because there were certain families where everybody had to work. Even some white families had to all work and had to be all hands on deck. So it is a complete myth. Okay, so yeah, all of this is a myth and reminiscing on yesteryear. I don't know why people are doing that, and I don't know why people that have a half a modicum of sense would even imagine that we should want to go back to that point. All right, let's see what else is going on. I hope that everybody does stay safe with June coming up. Protect yourself. Make sure that you stay around mostly straight people. Okay, let's see. And I know that I'm very deadpan with my delivery, but hopefully everybody knows that I'm joking. I haven't read a book in years. I read all the books. I stay reading. Okay, cook eggs over steam with the lid. Okay, that was my issue. Steam temp is constant. Cold eggs into boiling water lowers the temp to 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, 10 to 12 minutes because I do like hard boiled. I am so glad that I do have some young folks on here. And I was just thinking about this. I have firmly entered into my auntie age of life. At 42 years old and a woman that has been married almost 10 years, I am firmly an auntie. I do know that there are women a lot older than me, but I am entered into I'm doing the two-step. That is as much dancing as I'm doing the two-step. There's no more dropping it like it's hot. It's more like dropping it like it's lukewarm, and that's about it. So, what else? Why are those trad wife influencers conveniently leaving this part out? Because these trad wife they're influencers, period, point blank. And these people are looking to get spins, and saying this kind of stuff gets them spins. And so many people do not know the history of the United States. Forget the history, the global history. People do not know the history of, like, literally, and some of it is not our fault. I was a very good student, and there's a lot of things in history that I didn't know because depending on where you are, what state you are in, they whitewash history so much that even if you did know a tidbit of it, it can be so whitewashed that you still don't know history until you read something on your own. Okay, so what else? Did I see that North or South Carolina town wanted to force black women back? Yes, I did. I did know about that, forcing black women back in. And they could. And that's, because who's in charge? It has been alabaster males in charge of everything. And their women started complaining probably because they had to, take care of their kids by themselves a little bit. And they're like, Jedediah, can you please go and make these coloreds go back to work because I cannot wrangle these kids on my own. And so that is the reason why they have been a tool for race and keeping race in the discourse, and they haven't helped because they have had some benefits. Having built-in help has helped them, but where push comes to shove and where the separation happens. I know that I'm going on a tangent, but the pandemic, when people had to actually take care of their own kids and teach their own kids, that is when you started to see that their parenting skills are not, you don't know what I mean. So, when they actually had to start taking care of their own kids, that is when you start to see what is going on with them. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on. Now men just hide the assets and get paid by cash. I mean, there's only so much hiding of cash that you can do, and that's another reason why women just work. Most of us are in the workforce. More women have been in the workforce, like let's say 1988. Back when feminism had already taken hold, and it was more like in the teenage years, maybe the toddler years, I don't know. That is when women are like, you know what, I need to work. It is embedded in us that we're going to go to work. Like me coming up through the 90s, it was not, I was going to work. There was no doubt that I was going to go to work. So most of us have been to work. Like right now, I am a housewife, but I am a content creator. But I can go back to work. A lot of the times back in the day, women didn't have the flexibility or the options. And sometimes, like if you were 40 and trying to get into the workforce for the first time, that's where you would be jacked up. But these days, it's like most of us have worked at some point and have some kind of skills under our belts, and we're not completely starting over. Okay, so even if men are hiding assets, it would suck, but women could still rebound. Let's see. Women would have less confusion if they stopped listening to men. Yes, please stop listening to men. Um, at this particular point, we have got to decenter them because Even let's say that they are amazing men. Let's just say they are amazing. They are still looking out for other men. Period. So you have got to take what they are saying and doing with a grain of salt, because they are still going to go to bat for the dude over there. Just like the people who might not be cheating but still will cover for their cheating friend. So, yes, decent men, stop listening to them so much. Like when they start to get into my comments, and they start trying to take over with their opinion, I block people. I don't let them do too much talking. That's just me. Let's see. Let's see what else we got going on. People go into debt to get married. Yeah, I can't see it. It costs too much money to actually live, let alone to get married and be in debt. Yes, you got to have the single shield. I mean, let's see what else we got going on. Hello, everybody. I've been watching Priscilla Clark, and the Hope in Men is, yeah, I'm sorry. In the 1950s, where women were committing suicide. Yes. Okay, so another book that I read, it was called Women in Madness, and it was talking about how, man, there has been so much sexism in just about every industry, organization, every foundation of this country. There's nothing that wasn't touched by sexism and or racism, and using calling women mad, saying women had mental illness was just another way to control women. Now, white women got the brunt of it because they were the ones that were supposed to fit the traditional roles. Black women and Mexican women, other women, we didn't have those standards because we had no choices but to work. But what was considered madness in women, having an opinion, not wanting to be married, not wanting to have kids, like talking back. Postpartum depression could have gotten you diagnosed with mental illness. The word hysterectomy and hysterical go back to that time frame where women were crazy simply for having an opinion. So the word hysterectomy and hysterical has sexist roots, and a lot of the mental health field is based on sexism. And like most industries have white males as the top, and they oversee everything, and that is the reason why a lot of them have a very savior-like complex or a god-like complex, and it's still being felt. There is some diversity in these industries, but a lot of things have to be deprogrammed to be reprogrammed to be beneficial to people. And this is the reason why knowing and understanding history is important, because even if you are getting help for mental illness and mental well-being, you have to take it with a grain of salt that a lot of these things were written with racist and sexist undertones. Let's see what else we got going on. Um, I'm probably going to be getting off of here soon. I did not see Cinderella is Dead as available. Oh, hold on, there's Cinderella is Dead. I'm gonna see if it's available. Blame the British. Your channel has made me question many things in my life. I'm glad that I'm helping you as a 20-year-old. Just imagine, I have a 6-year-old daughter. I have a 6-year-old daughter. So just know that she is already assertive and a confident young girl. So I can just imagine how much more assertive and confident she's going to be as an adult, because she is not afraid to speak her mind, and I have been giving her me ever since she got here. My voice, I didn't get this voice overnight. I didn't just wake up speaking like this. It took some years. So I am trying to reach people a lot younger so that we can have this assertiveness, and this is going to be about the only thing that turns things around. Women having firm boundaries, having a firm voice, understanding what we want and value, and then being able to communicate it. And then it's like, okay, Until then, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to be single. I'm going to build my relationships with my girlfriends. And then from there, if the men, act right, then maybe we can pair up. Until then, we need to be like the South Korean women, where we're just shutting everything down. Now, I say that, yes, as a married woman, yes, I do understand that I'm married, but I have been married for almost 10 years, so I'm not just going to divorce my husband. He's a good husband. But if I were single in this current climate, then I would be like, these dudes are just, ain't no more in the bag. What they giving out ain't looking particularly good. So, let's see what else we got going on. Start with the history of your birth certificate. People should know what the birth certificate means. Oh, okay. There's a lot of, let's see. I'm listening to A9 Woman. Yes, definitely read A9 Woman. I think it was last year. I read, it had to be at least 24 different feminist books, feminist history. I read, black feminist authors, because a lot of times people don't think that black feminists were a thing, but it's like, no, we got some history and people just don't talk about it. So definitely read a couple of bell hooks books within the last couple of years. What else we got going on? You started working at 14? Okay, I started working at 17. But that was back in the day, back in the day, when the minimum wage was $5.15. Way back in the day, when a gallon of gas cost 75 cents. That's when I started working. Yes, men definitely stay on code. Phyllis Chesler. Yes, I read two of Phyllis Chesler's books. The Inhumanity of Woman to Woman. It's something like that, by Phyllis Chesler. The Inhumanity of Woman to Woman was a game changer, because women do uphold the patriarchy and create that trope, but of like the evil stepmother and the mean-spirited older woman. But a lot of that is based on the scarcity factor of like, okay, you have to have a man. But now that we don't have to have a man to live and survive, we do not have to be antagonistic to other women over looking for a dude. We just don't have to do it anymore. Because we can survive. Back in the day, you literally needed a man to survive. You had to have one, because you couldn't have a bank account, you couldn't own property, you couldn't vote, you couldn't do anything. So you had to have a man. So there was a scarcity mindset. But we do not have to be inhumane to other women. We don't have to uphold patriarchy, because we don't need them to survive. Have you talked about the term tolerable permanent unhappiness? Okay, I'll send you a message, and I will check Miss Littlefoot, and I'll get to that. Yes, you'll share your login for the library system. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got going on, because I have heard that I'm supposed to. Oh, you know what? I'm tripping. Cinderella is Dead is in my library. It's in the teen section. That's the problem. Cinderella is Dead. Is it by Kaylin Bayton? I'm going to place it on hold. I don't even have to. Okay. There's one available. Okay, cool. That was the problem. Cinderella is Dead. So since it's in the teen section, it's probably going to be an easy read. Does your husband know a crop of good men? Man, my husband, he goes to work, he keeps his head down, and he comes back home. Let's see. All women, married or not, impacted when men go on a rampage. We are. And people get, so the wireless woman said, all women, married or not, are impacted when men go on a rampage. And she is absolutely right. Now, this is the thing. People come to my pages and like, how do you talk like this and you're married and blah, blah, blah. It does not matter that I am married. I live in this society with everybody else. And just because I am married doesn't mean anything. Like right now, I am at the gym. My husband is somewhere over there doing some other stuff. I am still impacted because I am still here. And if anything were to go wrong, it doesn't matter that I am married. I'm still impacted by life and society. So I speak on real stuff that's happening. I am not blinded by the fact that I am married. Okay, let's see what else we got going on. Yes, we do need to keep talking about strengthening friendships. We need to talk about boundaries. We need to talk about self-care. We need to talk about the power of no. So we're going to keep talking about all of this because it has to be deprogrammed. We have got to be deprogrammed from all of the fairy tale BS to be reprogrammed with new set of a new set of thinking, a new set of beliefs. We have to be deprogrammed to be reprogrammed. Hydro Homie. Hello, Hydro Homie. I appreciate your channel. I don't know how I found you. I'm a 29-year-old black man recently married. Okay, cool. I am glad that you're... You know what? I appreciate you saying that because so many times men come to my page and just want to overtalk me. And I'm glad that your wife has you to where you're able to hear a woman speak and not just get on the defensive. So I'm sure that if you do not have kids, your kids are going to be, they are going to benefit from that. What else we got going on? How did women survive then? Women are survivors. So that is the reason why the majority of unalivings are from males. Women, we know how to survive. We put our heads down and we take care of things. We can process. We can have other identities outside of just being married. It's just like, yes, we might have a sucky time in this box, but if I could channel my energy into this box and start focusing over here a little bit more, it makes being over here a little bit more tolerable. Okay, let's see. What else we got going on? Yes, preach. Women steeped in patriarchy destroy other women. They do. So, what else we got going on? I am probably going to be... Have I considered having a YouTube call-in show? I don't know how to do a YouTube call-in show just yet. It's probably StreamYard. I'm not sure. I don't know. But no, I haven't considered doing a YouTube call-in show. Somebody is going to have to give me some information on that. If anybody wants to, tell me how to do, I am learning on the fly. I literally just started doing this YouTube stuff back in November, and it's all been a learning curve, and yeah, that's that. But I am going to wrap it up here because it's about time for me to get my kids from the childcare. So you guys have a couple of minutes. If anybody else wants to say anything in the chat, if anybody wants to support the content and you want to maybe donate to the content, I am $BurbNBougie for Cash App, and Fire Fitness Coach for any other things. I do also accept super thanks, and those are in the super chats. Other than that, just watching the content and playing the videos will support the content as well. But if anybody else has any questions, here we go. Let's see what's going on. I appreciate all the videos you post exposing all the things that's going on in the world. I can show you how. Wireless women, just email me something, firefitnesscoach@gmail.com, firefitnesscoach@gmail.com. If you just email me what I need to know, and I'll look into it. Why did I start YouTube? That's a good question, and that's how I'm going to end. How did I start YouTube? So this is what happened. I am a troublemaker. I'm petty. I speak my mind, and I'm assertive. And on Facebook, I would get kicked off of Facebook for bullying people. And I'm not really bullying people. I just mirror people's energy. And the men would report me. They would report me. And so I would get kicked off of Facebook. So then I started going to TikTok. And I was going strong on TikTok. But then the men started reporting me on TikTok. So I was like, okay, when you make a TikTok video, it automatically saves. So I was like, let me just start storing my information, storing my videos on YouTube. So I was storing my videos on Instagram and YouTube, and then all of it, and that happened about in November. And then all of a sudden, my subscribers just shot up, and that is how I got over on YouTube, because I was making the videos on TikTok. I was already making the videos, I was already making the content, so I just started putting it over here. It wasn't that I knew I was going to blow up like this. It just kind of happened. I'm curious for all the articles that you post. And hold on. I'm curious for all the articles or posts that you want to be tagged in, so I don't tag you and don't post. So just Ava, I get emails all the time. You can send me stuff. My emails are off the chain these days, but I'm firefitnesscoach@gmail.com. If you send me stuff, I get to my emails as I can. I only pick a few to post each day, but you can send it to firefitnesscoach@gmail.com. Okay. And if I didn't get to your questions in the chat, just email me if there's something else that I should have seen. And I will probably try to come back on Tuesday, next Tuesday as well, to have another 6:30 or 7 p.m. chat. All right, so I am going to go ahead and sign off now. I guess that's it. Let's see. Hope your channel continues to blow up. Me too, because I started these kids in swim lessons, and I need to I need to keep paying for these swim lessons at this expensive gym. Thank you, Love Survivor #1 for the $10. Thank you so much. All right, y'all have a good one.